Yep. Good evening, everyone. So yesterday I given a simple overview on what is React and how it is different from Angular and what are the key features of React we will discuss today. So in yesterday's session, I given some points and actually all the classroom related notes what we are discussing here. This is the link. I will upload that link. It's a Google Drive link. The classroom related code. Yeah. This is Google link. I will share with everybody. Yeah. So this is the QR code. You can scan this QR code. For offline people, it is kept in the notice board. You can check. Right. In the notice board, a QR code is kept. You can check. And you scan this QR code and you will get a Google Drive link. So in that yesterday's introduction video is already there, link, and course content is also present there. You can go through that course content and all in that location. So classroom, that is the code, you can get it, everybody. For online people, I am sharing the link. So in that, whatever classroom related code content is there, it is here. Demo videos. So these are related to the demo videos. Yesterday's video will be there. And this is the course content. The course content is uploaded. You can go through that course content here. This is all the course content. What we are going to learn, the complete course content here, you can go through it. Okay. So everything is uploaded there. You can get. So yesterday, what we discussed is about what is React. I explained a point and why we need React. So this point also I explained. We discussed about what are the challenges in modern web development and how to overcome those challenges. Those points I explained. So I hope you remembered what are the challenges in modern web development. What are the key challenges in modern web development? Some points I explained. What are those? Unified user experience. Unified user experience means what? Unified user experience means an application should have same experience across all devices. That means even a mobile user also must get access to everything. So another one is fluid experience. Fluid experience means user will stay on one page and can get access to everything onto that page. Another point is, another important point is loosely coupled and extensible. It allows to easily extend the application. So without leading to more catastrophic failures, so application can be easily extended. These are the challenges. And how do we handle, how we overcome these challenges? We can overcome these challenges by building What kind of applications? Single page applications. How to build single page applications? To build single page application, you can use React, Angular like technologies. But why we cannot use JavaScript and jQuery? Because JavaScript and jQuery are internally used by React and Angular. React and Angular uses JavaScript only. So why can't we build directly single page applications by using JavaScript and jQuery? That means here, today I will explain 2 points. The first point today we are going to learn is what are the issues? What are the issues in JavaScript and jQuery? What are the issues in JavaScript and jQuery? So that means to build single page applications, why can't we use directly JavaScript and jQuery? Actually, JavaScript and jQuery are used for building single page application. We can build. But why don't we prefer these directly anymore, right? Because the first point is, so JavaScript and jQuery require lot of DOM interactions. They require lot of DOM interactions. JavaScript and jQuery deal with lot of DOM interactions. What is meant by DOM interactions? DOM interactions means adding elements, removing elements, updating data into elements. So direct DOM interactions will take more time. That means they are slow in rendering. So that means they are not fast in handling the interactions. So if you have learned JavaScript, you know what is DOM and DOM interactions. Here I will give an overview also. We'll see that. So JavaScript and jQuery requires a lot of DOM interactions. And direct DOM interactions are always little slow, affecting the element, updating the element is always so. That means actually they require a lot of events and renderings. Another problem is they require a lot of AJAX. To build a single page application, you need a lot of AJAX. You have learned AJAX in JavaScript. If you learn JavaScript and jQuery uses a lot of AJAX. You need a lot of AJAX. What is the concept of AJAX? What is the concept of AJAX? The concept of AJAX is without reloading the complete page, it can add new details to page. Without refreshing the complete page, it can add some new details to the page. That is very good in performance. Without posting complete page, it can post only specific portion of page. That you can achieve by using AJAX. AJAX is used for handling partial postbacks. Complete single page like environment you can create only with AJAX. But JavaScript, jQuery have to use lot of AJAX. They use lot of AJAX explicitly. They require lot of AJAX explicitly. Explicitly means externally we have to write. Internally, JavaScript and jQuery, they are not using Ajax directly. You need explicitly implement. That means additionally you have to add, you need to configure, then it becomes good. So to build single page application, you need lot of Ajax, and JavaScript and jQuery use all explicit extra. These are the major issues that we face with JavaScript and jQuery. And lot of other things are there. That means, so lengthy operations are required for lengthy operations are required for data binding, style binding, class binding, event binding. Like these things are very complex, very lengthy. So if you have learned JavaScript, you have learned this, how to bind data to elements, how to bind styles to elements, how to bind classes to elements, how to bind events to elements. It's a lengthy process. So much is required. We can do everything with the JavaScript and jQuery. So, but you need lot of logic, lot of code. And I hope you have learned that jQuery is little better when compared to JavaScript, because jQuery comes with a concept, write less, do more. That means you can write less and you can manage. But still it has so many issues. So JavaScript and jQuery can build single page applications. But what is problem is they have DOM issues, slow rendering, lot of explicit Ajax, lengthy operations in handling different data binding, style binding, class binding, event binding activities. These are the major issues that we are facing with JavaScript and jQuery. That is the reason we are looking for some libraries. We are looking for some frameworks which can simplify this. That means they can reduce these issues. They can provide us simple way to design a single page application instead of following all lengthy process. For that, the best, we have solutions like React and Angular, Vue, all these technologies. So the issues with JavaScript and jQuery are this. Then what are the features? What are the features? What are the features of React? That means how React is different from JavaScript and jQuery. I hope you know JavaScript is a language and jQuery is a library. So React is also a library, same like jQuery. Same like jQuery, React also a library. JavaScript is language and jQuery is library. And React is also a library. If React is also a library, same like jQuery, then what is difference between them? What are the advantages of React? That means what are the key facts of React which are very pleasing for developers? The first important is, what are the key features of React? The first important feature about React is it uses virtual DOM. That is one of the major features. React, one of the main advantages is it uses virtual DOM. And this you have to understand very detailedly, because first you should know what is a DOM. You should know what is a shadow DOM, what is a virtual DOM. Actually, in React interviews, these questions are very common, because React primarily uses virtual DOM. every developer should know what is virtual DOM. For that, first, to understand this point, we need to learn some more questions. That means I am explaining more detailedly about this point. So first, to understand that it is a virtual DOM, first you should know what is DOM. So when you learned your HTML and the JavaScript, I hope you learned what is a DOM, right? Can you tell what is a DOM? Not its full form. What is DOM? DOM is an hierarchy of elements. DOM is an hierarchy of elements. I will explain this point for people who are not aware, because everybody who learned JavaScript, he comes with this point. He knows this. If he says that I am JavaScript developer and I don't know DOM, it's like joke, right? It's like a serious joke, right? Because HTML itself is DOM, right? So what is concept of DOM, right? Let's see. Actually, again, to understand this DOM, if you are already aware, good. Otherwise, you need to know this. For that, you have to first understand how your HTML is going to work. Actually, this is the browser architecture. This is the browser architecture. Every browser have these components. This is the basic browser architecture. So every browser like Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, all these browsers internally have this. This is the technical architecture of a browser. Every browser contains an UI. It contains a browser engine. It contains a rendering engine. It comprises of networking, JavaScript interpreter, UI backend, and data persistence. I hope you already learned this in JavaScript, because without knowing browser, you can't be a web developer. You can't call yourself as a web developer without knowing how your browser works, because you are targeting everything to browser. And this is how the browser works. Actually, browser have UI, user interface. A small overview I will give. User interface is nothing but the user interface of browser contains address bar, title bar, it contains workspace, it contains extensions. You know, browser have some extensions. Browser contains shortcut buttons like previous, next, back. It contains favorites. All this comes under what? UI. So every browser contains user interface. It have UI, user interface. Every browser have an engine. I hope you people know the names of different browser engines. Chrome uses a engine called V8. V8 is a engine of Chrome. Firefox uses a engine called Gecko and Spider Monkey. Those are the engine names. And Safari uses engine called WebKit. Edge uses an engine called Chakra. These are different browser engines. So every browser have different engines. We have different browser engines. So these engines are responsible for translating your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In a browser, whatever HTML, CSS, JavaScript you send, it is translated by these engines. And Unfortunately, all browsers don't have same engine. That is the reason browser compatibility issues come in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, everywhere. In web designing, browser compatibility issues are very common because they don't have a common engine. Every engine have its own features. Due to that, what happens when anybody teaches you HTML or CSS or JavaScript, he need to mention, is this possible on this browser? That means you will see under every concept, they will mention compatibility. This command runs on these browsers only. This tag works on these browsers only, like that. So browser engines will be there. Every browser have a UI. Every browser have a rendering engine and browser engine. Every browser have a JavaScript interpreter. So user interface, browser engine, rendering engine, and JavaScript interpreter. It is responsible for translating the JavaScript line by line. Interpreter always translates line by line. And the browser have a networking. I hope you know networking. In browser, networking is responsible for tracking how many requests are happening for a page, how much time it is taking to respond, how many bytes are transferred in the response. All such information is present in network. Networking indicates how many files you are requesting, how much content it is loading, how much time it is taking. All such information is in networking. UI backend and data persistence is nothing but it is the location where your browser related data is stored. I hope you know that browser stores data in cookies. Browser stores data in local storage. Browser stores data in session storage. You have session storage, you have local storage, you have cookies. This all comes under data persistence and backend. Suppose you are using a browser, you are entering user ID password. Your browser asks that, do you want me to remember this? When you say yes, then next time it will remind you those user ID password. Now the question is where it kept it. Where it is keeping all this information. That is actually kept in data persistence. Usually data persistence refers local storage, session storage, cookies and all. That is data persistence. This is the basic browser architecture. Every browser contains an UI. Every browser contains an engine. It contains an JavaScript interpreter. And it contains backend networking and data persistence. You can see here, for example, suppose I'm accessing some Google. I'm right clicking here and select inspect. And when I inspect, you can see in that it is showing here application. In that application, you can see it will show all the storage. You have a local storage, you have a session storage, you have a cookie storage. That means what data it is storing, what data it is using for your application, it will be there. It is having network. Network is nothing but it will identify how many requests are made, how much bytes are transferred, how much time it is taken to load. All that information is present. What request it is using, is it a get request, is it a post request, is it a put request, all that. So that is all the browser architecture. That is all the browser architecture. So first, every developer working on web technology, first he should know his browser. He should know the browser architecture. He should know the browser components. So what are the browser components? UI, a browser engine, a rendering engine, JavaScript interpreter, networking, backend, and data persistence. So these are the parts of browser engine. Now, how your HTML and CSS are going to work? how your HTML and CSS are going to work. Let's see. That means because if you can understand, then you can understand what is DOM. Actually, we have the browsers. So we are having a browser. So any browser. So we have a browser. And this is the browser which can be anything like, so like a Chrome or like Edge, like Safari, so many, Firefox, all these are different types of browsers we have. Now what happens is how this browser is going to translate everything. So generally we have a specific process. I hope you learned that in your HTML. Generally developer writes markup. Developer will write markup like this. Developer will write the markup. Developers writes the markup in this way. This is actually the markup. Developer writes the markup. When developer writes the markup, this markup is first translated into, the markup is translated into bytes. Whatever markup you have written, so in your HTML, that is first translated into bytes. That means it is translated into binary. So it is translated into byte code. After it is translated into byte code, these bytes are converted into characters. These are converted into characters. Characters means it will put an angle bracket, it will put a B, and it will put an angle bracket close like this. It will put like H, it will put like E, so say L, like this. O, it is going to translate everything in that way. These are the characters it is going to handle. So these are the characters it is going to handle. So just I will give H, E, L, L, O like this. And angle bracket, so and B, and another angle bracket like this. All the bytes are converted into characters. That's how it works. So first you return markup. The markup is converted into bytes. The bytes are converted into characters. After converting into characters, these characters are combined and they are formed into tokens. These characters are combined and they are formed into tokens. Usually a token looks like this: angle bracket, B, and another one close. Usually people call these as tags, which official technical term is token. So HTML don't have any tags technical. It is all tokens. So HTML is a collection of tokens, not tags. You will never see any technical people talking about tags concept. You will never see in the any debugging tag word. That is general term actually. The official term is token. So whatever the characters are there, they are combined into tokens. The process of converting the characters into tokens is called tokenization. We call that process as tokenization, the process of converting. Once they are converted into tokens, these tokens are translated into nodes. They are translated into nodes. We call these nodes as we call these nodes as elements. Elements. These nodes are called elements. That means now this B element is called as bold. Some P element is called as paragraph. So P is its token name and paragraph is its element name. A is the token name, anchor is its element name. That means these tokens are converted into nodes. Nodes are called as elements. And what is the meaning of node? The meaning of node means it is a part of a hierarchy. That means these nodes, whatever nodes are present, these nodes are arranged in a hierarchical order. That means we have a parent. And under this parent, we have child. Under that parent, we are having child. So child 1, we are having child 2, like this. That means these nodes are arranged in a hierarchical order. This hierarchical order of arranging the elements, this is called as DOM. We call this hierarchy as DOM. Document Object Model. That is called as DOM, Document Object Model. So you write anything, browser arranges in an order. Even you don't maintain order, it knows its order. For example, I will show you. Roughly, I will explain here a simple one. So later you can understand other part. Just roughly I will show you. Suppose, don't worry what I am typing and all, just see the concept. Suppose we have a HTML page. In that I kept hello. In bold I written. I am not using any hierarchical order. Like I am not writing any order. I just written only bold. Now, when I run this in browser, browser knows the place of this what you written. That means I written only bold in a HTML page, but browser is going to keep this. Browser is going to keep this in a body. I haven't designed this structure, but it knows its structure. That means any element you keep, browser knows its place. It arranges in an order. You may not write in an order. It knows its order. The order of arranging the elements in a hierarchical order, this is called as DOM. That is the document object model. So usually you see whatever we written here is just be hello. I haven't mentioned where it should come, but it knows where it should come. And it arranges in an hierarchical order. This hierarchy is called as DOM. We call as document object model. Now, after creating the DOM, this DOM undergo a process called, layout. The DOM is converted into a layout. After the DOM is designed, it is converted into a layout. You know layout. Layout means a layout tells where which content should display. That means header at top, footer at bottom, navigation at left. So advertisement at right, like that. It prepares one layout. After DOM is designed, the DOM is converted into layout. Remember, this all is happening where? In the browser engine. This is all happening in the browser engine. That means a browser engine is doing all this. After that, after the layout is prepared, this layout is sent for a process called, rendering. the layout is sent for a process called rendering. Rendering means preparing the final output. Rendering in computer technologies means preparing the final output. Rendering means it is designing the final output. After the layout is created, it is preparing the layout to display. The process of generating final output is called as rendering. After rendering is finished, there are no problems, there are no issues. Then it will undergo another process called paint. It will undergo another process called paint. We call it as painting. It will undergo another process called painting. Painting means whatever output is generated, this output need to be presented. Where it should be presented? In the browser. And how the output is presented? By using a process called painting. That means it paints your information. It is going to paint that. And the result of paint is what you see in bold hello word. That is what you see. Whatever you see in the browser as a result, it is because of a process called painting. And painting is done after rendering. Rendering is prepared from a layout. Layout is created from DOM. DOM is created using elements. Elements or you call as nodes. Elements are created by using tokens. Tokens are tags. Tokens are created by using characters. Characters are created with bytes. Bytes are from markup. This is the process how it works. Actually, you see here, suppose I am showing this hello in bold letters. Let's do one thing. Go to performance. There is a category performance in debugger. In the performance, I will start recording here. I will start recording. Click this recording button and refresh the page. And just wait for some seconds. So 10-15 seconds we will wait. It is profiling. After 10-15 seconds, I stop. Then it records what happened in the background. And you see this is what happened in the background. And in this load, experience, scripting, rendering, and what? Painting. That means how much time it taken for rendering, how much time it taken for painting. Because this is what a developer needs to know. For example, you designed a page and somebody complains that the page is slow. Now the question is where it is slow, why it is slow. That means it may be slow in tokenization. It may be slow in DOM creation. It may be slow in rendering. It may be slow in painting. That is the responsibility of a developer to know where it is slow. And according to that, he will take precautions. That means rendering is slow. Then he will reduce the rendering part by adding some logic related to rendering. Painting is slow. He will take care about something else which is related to painting. This is the basic process, how actually your HTML is presented. For example, now in this page, I am writing a style. And what I defined, wherever body is there, for that body, I will just display color as red, something like this I define. Now what happens is, now parallel to this DOM, another object model will run. Parallel to this DOM, another object model will come. And that object model is called as, CSSOM. We call it as CSS object model. We have a DOM document object model and we have a CSS object model. CSS object model will render the styles, it will apply the styles, and it will display those styles to your element. That means two object models are running in a page. One is DOM, another one CSS. CSS object model. That is the hierarchy actually. That means this is how the process actually works. This is how the process actually works. The first HTML parsing, first we write markup, markup converts into bytes, bytes are converted into characters, characters are converted into tokens, tokens are created into nodes, nodes are arranged in a hierarchy called DOM. After the DOM, it will undergo the process of rendering, layouting, and paint. And you have two models. You have CSS object model, you have document object model. That means two models will be there. CSS object model and document object model. HTML presents DOM. And CSS will make the DOM more effective. And JavaScript manipulates the DOM. That is the relation actually. HTML presents the DOM. CSS makes the DOM more interactive and responsive. And JavaScript makes manipulations in the DOM. That is the relation between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All are related to document object model. They're all related to document object model. That is the key point actually. This is the rendering path. This is the parsing, how actually it works. And whatever result is there, that will finally prepare a render tree and it will paint that render tree. The output is because of, this is the process how it actually works. The HTML DOM and CSS object model, they create one rendering tree, layout, and it goes the process called paint. And it is going to display that in your screen. So every developer who comes from the basics of HTML, JavaScript, he should know all this basically. That is very common thing actually. That means you can't call yourself as a web developer without knowing how your browser works, without knowing how your HTML works, right? That means HTML parsing and DOM model is very, very important. Because at React level, in interviews, if you say, I don't know what is rendering, I don't know what is painting, I don't know what is tokenization, that's not great. Because they think that React developer means they think you are genius in web design. If you put React in your profile, they think you are the genius in web design. They expect that you are master in JavaScript. So you need to show up that, right? They think that because React is not say small concept, React is not a small technology. So in the current generation, React is very advanced and we expect a lot of things from a React developer because now the modern generation of applications are built by these people, right? That's the reason we expect all these and we ask all these in interviews, right? So first thing is, what is DOM? You know the answer now. So DOM is, it is a hierarchy of elements in browser. It is a hierarchy of elements in browser. DOM is a hierarchy of elements in browser. So it is referred as document object model. It is referred as document object model. So actually that presentation I will upload into the classroom. I will upload that presentation. You will get all the diagram. Don't worry about that, right? I will upload the presentation diagram. Here I am just giving a definition. The complete diagram and presentation I will upload into class, right? What I explained to you. So I hope you are clear first about this. What is DOM? DOM is a hierarchy of elements in browser. So it is referred as document object model, right? Okay. Architecture diagram, you see, you will easily understand. I will upload that into classroom, right? Now, another question is, what is shadow DOM? This is another point. What is DOM and what is shadow DOM? What is the concept of shadow DOM? When you are working with HTML, you will come across with these two things, DOM and shadow DOM. What is a shadow DOM? I will tell you. For example, you know, you are working with a lot of things in HTML. For example, you are writing input type as date. When you write input type as date, what general people may not know about this is date is not an element. It is not an element. Actually, input is element and date is a component. Input is element and date is a component name actually. Date is a component name. Do you know what happens when I write input type date? When I write input type date, a box will come. In that box, it will show me, so like month, day, year, and it will show me one button. And usually that button is actually a calendar button. When user clicks on that calendar button, it opens a calendar where you can select a date. How come this can happen? I just written date. I just written date. And whatever you are watching on screen, it has a lot of things. Actually, this box that you see, it is a div. The contents in that box you see, these are spans. These are spans. This is again a div. It is again a div with click functionality. That means you may think it is an element, but it is not element, it's a component. We call them as web components. They are called web components. Even a text box is a component. That means how a text box verifies required. You know, for text box, you can give required attribute, right? How a text box can change its size. It's not element. This is an component. It is built with internally so many things. That means every component in a page again have a hierarchical order. Every component in a page is again having its own hierarchy. That is called as shadow DOM. That is called as shadow DOM. Entire page is having DOM. And every component have its own DOM again. That is called shadow DOM. So usually shadow DOM is used for web components to build a component. For example, see here. Suppose I will go into this browser and in the browser settings, we are having some browser settings and all. Right. You see now, I am writing here a simple option for you just as some departure. And I given input type is equal to date. Just I given input type date. You can see here, it shows a date picker like this. And you click on that, a date calendar will come. You select, it is storing the date. Actually, when you go to the elements, you can see in the elements, you can see it is like a single component. It means it's like a single element, nothing is there. But you can do one thing, you can see what it is built with. You go to the settings of your browser. In this debugger settings, you will find an option, show shadow DOM. You have an option, show shadow DOM. You select show shadow DOM and close. You can see now in the body, the input is a very big component with you see lot of shadow container. You see lot of things are there inside div. That is all used for designing a calendar. So this is very huge. That means date is built with so many things. And this is the shadow DOM. That means a page have DOM. Every component have a shadow DOM. Every component may be built with some hierarchy. The components hierarchy of elements is called as shadow DOM. And page hierarchy of elements is called as DOM. So generally in web designing, you will come across with DOM and you will come across with shadow. So what is the shadow DOM? Now, can you tell what is shadow DOM? It is a hierarchy of elements in component. It is a hierarchy of elements in component. So actually, HTML component is a combination of markup, styles, and logic. It's a combination of markup, styles, and logic. It contains some markup presentation. It contains some styles. It contains some logicals. All together, they come under the category of a component. Actually, you are learning React, Angular. We call them as component based. Component based means, suppose if you know already Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a component library. That means it is having nav bars, it is having carousels, it is having cards, it is having buttons. What a developer will do to design such components manually, it will take time. So he will just use those existing components and simplify the development. React and Angular are doing that. React and Angular are primarily considered as component based. That means they make the components which are very easy to reuse, which are very easy for building. What is advantage of a component? You used a date component. What advantage is there with that? To design a date picker by yourself, you will spend at least 1 hour time. By just writing input type date, you got it. That is what the purpose of React and Angular. That means they simplify the development by providing a lot of such component hierarchies. You can build your own components. You can use existing components. You can build effective user interface by using these components. That is the concept of component. So what is DOM? DOM is the hierarchy of elements in browser, in page. And shadow DOM is the hierarchy of elements inside a component. Every component have its own shadow DOM. That's what DOM and shadow DOM is. Now the concept is, what is virtual DOM? What is virtual DOM? what is the concept of virtual DOM? That is one of the main feature of React. That's the reason first you should know this. If anybody asks, tell me what are the advantages of React? What are the features of React? First point is it uses virtual DOM. What is the concept of virtual DOM? The concept of virtual DOM is nothing but, see here. Here, virtual DOM is a hierarchy. I will show you. I'll take a new one. Yeah. So this is generally, we are having a browser, and browser is already having a hierarchy of elements. So we have a parent and we are having child. The parent and child hierarchy, and so many options will be there. We have child 1. So we have like child 2. Like this, we are configuring the right. So we are having the hierarchy of this. Actually, we know this. This is considered as what? DOM. That is considered as DOM. Now what happens is, in the memory of browser, that means browser have a memory. The browser is having memory. Now generally what happens is, we are building an application. We are building an application with JavaScript, or we are application with jQuery like this. We are building with Angular like this. Then what these technologies do is, they directly interact with the actual DOM in browser. Interact with the actual DOM in browser, which will take more time. It will take more time to interact with the actual DOM in the browser, because updating, because you saw a lot of process have to happen there. What is the process you just saw? Why I showed you the process? Because you should know how much work is there in the backend. That means you should know that it will convert the characters to bytes, bytes to tokens, tokens to nodes, nodes undergo layout, rendering, and painting. Lot of things will happen. Every time when you do any modification, this entire process should happen. That's a lengthy process. Then what React-like technologies do? What React-like technologies do is, they maintain a duplicate copy of this actual DOM in the memory here. They will maintain a copy of the DOM in the memory here, and they call this as what? Virtual DOM. They maintain a duplicate copy of this. Now what happens is, React will directly use this virtual DOM. This virtual DOM, what is its nature is, you done some update, then this virtual DOM immediately responds and it will show you. It will immediately respond and it will show you. But actually in the back process, it has to still update in actual DOM. It will take time. In the background, it will take time. But in the front end, you immediately saw that it is finished. But originally, it is bluffing you. It is bluffing you, saying that I finished this, but actually it is doing it. You feel it is very fast. That is the reason many very professional, high-level technical developers are not satisfied with React. They say, what is this nonsense? You are maintaining a complete virtual DOM of DOM. That means it's not heavy on memory. It's not heavy on memory. That means for a professional, high-level technician, software engineer, these all technologies are nonsense sometimes. You will see 20, 25, 30 years experienced software developers on YouTube saying that React is useless. Many professional people say that sometimes I don't like this React. But 80-90% of world is using React, but some professional technician who is officially a high-level technician, he says that I don't like this. That means what you are trying to tell me with this? I don't like your approach. He likes some other approach. That's his problem. But the point is, he is correct. He is correct. Because this is may not be satisfying for everybody. But majority people are satisfied with this. It is just like you are making payment of a credit card on Paytm, credit card bill. Then you made payment, then a confirmation immediately comes, payment finish. But to update in your account, it will take time. That is virtual DOM. That means immediately can you use that amount? No, it will take time. But you got a confirmation immediately. That means you are satisfied. That okay, I got it. But actually it is not got. Your amount is not credited. It will take time. But confirmation you got, success. This is the nature of virtual DOM. So it is bluffing you, but it is okay. That's enough. Because he got a confirmation, close and go. Later it will update. What is your problem then? This is the nature of React, which many people don't like this. That means you can't say that React is great technology. It will do everything. Many technicians are not satisfied with this virtual DOM. They will argue with you and they can even win the argument with you. Right? Why? Because that is true. Then it's okay. Even it is true. It is okay. We want this. We want this type of approach so that it will satisfy the client. Right? You will not explain all this to a customer, right? Who is using your application, saying that we are bluffing you. You got a confirmation, but it will take time. We don't do that. Right? We don't explain him the scenario. He just knows that he got a confirmation. So this is a great thing, but not maybe satisfying for every developer. But this is one of the key feature of React that makes applications look like they perform fast. They perform fast. Actually, it is not fast. Just everything is same. For example, if I ask you a question, can you name fastest browser in the world? Which browser is fast? Do you know some browsers come with a slogan that we are fast? Can you name any fastest browser? Have you heard? Have you heard about this point? Fastest browser? Have you heard? That browser is fast. Fastest browser. That means you can browse fast in a browser. Have you heard this point? So for example, suppose you Google here, right? Suppose Google. And I said fastest browser. And you see here, fastest browser. Then you see some people will give you some list of fastest browsers. So fastest browsing speed, you see Google Chrome. So winner of fastest browser that runs scripts and applications and graphics. Now tell me one point. That means Google people are saying that Google is the Chrome is the fastest browser. Internet connection speed depends on browser or modem? Internet connection speed depends on browser or your connection speed. Then what you are talking? You are saying browser is fast. I am using 1 Mbps per second and I am using Chrome. It will open faster. That's nonsense. That means you are misguiding the people. Of course, we will misguide because they don't know technically. Right? You don't know technically, we will misguide. That means even software engineers says that this is fastest browser. Even software engineer says that I am using this browser because it is fast. What kind of software engineer you are? Without knowing that browser doesn't affect the speed, it is the modem speed. Your modem is 30 Mbps, then it is fast. Your modem is 5 kbps, how it is fast? You use a Safari browser, it will be fast. These are all bluffing in software technologies. That means we show something, but actually happening something else. But we are satisfied with what we show because that's what concerned for a user. User don't need to know all this. We don't tell them also. We just need to show them the result. Is it fast? Right? That is the concept actually. So technically, virtual DOM is a very good point, but may not be satisfying to everybody. There are so many people in the world who will oppose with ReactJS. There are so many people in the world who will oppose with Angular. They say that I don't like this approach. They have some other approach, right? So these are very important to understand. So one of the key feature of React is virtual DOM. What this virtual DOM is, I hope you understood the point. So it is a copy of DOM in browser memory. So not only React, Vue, several other technologies use this virtual DOM. React uses virtual DOM to handle manipulations, which later updates the actual DOM. So hence it is faster. It is faster when compared to other technologies. Hence it is faster in rendering when compared to other technologies because it shows rendering fast. But actually what happened in virtual DOM is not final. What happened in actual DOM is final, but it will take time. It will do that in the back end. But for you are satisfied in the front. So that is the concept of virtual DOM. So one of the key feature of React is it's a virtual DOM. That is the point. I hope you are clear in that, right? So this is one important. So only one feature I explained. Only one feature I explained to you. But that feature requires knowledge of three things. What is DOM and what is shadow DOM and what is an virtual DOM. These are important. Next important is, so it is modular. Another important feature is it is modular. Actually, libraries are two types. We have legacy type libraries, modular library. Legacy libraries are nothing but, actually jQuery is a legacy library. jQuery is also a library, but it is a legacy library. It's not a modular library. But React is modular. jQuery is legacy. Legacy library means, legacy library is nothing but, suppose you have jQuery. In jQuery, have a JavaScript file. Its library is a JavaScript file. So I will tell you one simple, which is understandable to you first. Then I will go into the technical part. For example, suppose we have Bootstrap. Some CSS file is there. In that CSS file, you have logic for buttons. You have logic for text box. Means you have styles. You have styles for drop downs. Everyone. Like that, almost 10,000 lines code will be there inside Bootstrap CSS. Related to everybody, it will be there. Now what happens is, you are designing a HTML page. In that you are using a button. You want to apply some effects to this button. And for that, you are linking this file to the page. Am I right? Why you are linking a 10,000 lines file to use one option? Are you using text boxes, drop downs, list boxes in your page? No, I'm using only a button. After all, to use 3-4 effects for a button, you are importing 10,000 lights library. This is legacy. Even technologies like Java, .NET, for up to few years, they were legacy type. Recently, they started modular approach. Recently, from past few years, they started modular approach. They also have legacy library earlier. That means an entire library is imported even to handle a small operation. That's not great. Modular library means only the library that is used for that situation will be loaded. That's good. That means it makes the application lightweight. It makes the application fast. That means legacy means it loads everything even you are not using it. Modular means it will load only what is needed for it. What it is using, only that it will load. So what is the advantage? That means, so here modular means application. Modular means, I will tell here, modular means application specific library. So that means, so it is lightweight. So, and it is faster. That is the advantage of a modular library. So one of the important feature about React is modular. React is using virtual DOM. And another important, it uses async techniques. It uses async techniques, asynchronous techniques. That means lot of promises are present. Promises. I hope you know what are promises in JavaScript. JavaScript have promises. Promises will make the library asynchronous. Asynchronous library, that is because of promises. It uses a lot of promises that makes the library asynchronous. Asynchronous means parallelly it can run multiple tasks. Asynchronous is the ability of running the tasks, multiple tasks simultaneously at the same time. Earlier, our technologies used to use a concept called multi-threading, but we don't use that multi-threading these days in modern development very much. Even technologies like Java, .NET have introduced libraries for asynchronous programming. They are avoiding multi-threading. Earlier, Java, .NET, PHP, Python, all these are huge web-based application technologies. They use a lot of multi-threading. Now they are not using because they have their own async libraries now. Asynchronous makes the application run and perform better. So it uses a lot of asynchronous techniques. So these are the major features of the React. I will go into the detail other features later because that is not required now, because for that first you have to learn React. The key features are these. It uses virtual DOM, it uses modular, and it is async. This is one of the major point about React. Generally on internet, you will see so many features which are not every time satisfying. Because see, we need to speak technical. We don't care about what a website or video tells you about React. We care about what React people tell about React. Right? We don't care about anybody else who say about React. Because when you look about, when you search on Google, what are the features of React, then you will see many people telling that React is easy to learn. Are you serious? What you are talking? It is easy to learn. You will see everywhere. You will see everywhere. Google features of React. You will see that React is easy to learn. Nonsense, right? That is a feature of React. That means it is easy to learn. That is the technology feature. What you are talking about? These are all such points you will see regularly, right? Easy to learn. If it is hard to learn, you will not use. I don't care whether it is easy to learn or hard to learn. That is only the point, because it is of course easy to learn. That is not the feature of a technology, right? Easy to learn is not a feature of React. That's not a great point to discuss at all as a technician. That doesn't care about, we don't care about that point at all. But you will see everywhere, wherever you search for React features, you will see React is easy to learn. Those type of features I am not discussing. I am discussing about what is technical about React, right? That means those type of features you may see on internet, but we don't care because that's not the major thing to consider, right? The point is, it is using virtual DOM. It is modular in approach. It is asynchronous. These are the key points. And as I already told you, that means because of it is component based, then what is advantage is easy to extend, and it is loosely coupled. That is the challenge we are facing in modern development. And very important is it reduces the compatibility issues. That means it allows you to run across all devices easily. Reduces the browser compatibility issues. That means the major problem is compatibility issues. It reduces the compatibility issues. These are all the important features of React, right? These are the features of React. I hope you are clear, right? So now once you know these are the features of React, now in the next concept, so you need to know what are the issues. What are the issues with React? That means what are the problems with React, and how we can start working with React. So now we can start practically working with React. That means how to set up, how to install, and how do we start using React. We will learn the complete architecture, and practically we will start now. That we will see in next session, right? Today I explained all the features of React. Then we will discuss about the drawbacks, issues of React, and we will start practically working with React now. That means how to install, how to set up, everything I will discuss. We will see how do we work with the React. Okay. And our next session will be on Monday. So tomorrow, no session, right? So usually Saturdays, once the registrations are finished, because of based on availability, we will conduct a Saturday session, because for React like technologies, many real world working people will be attending these batches, and they're not available in the weekends. So we will decide after the registrations are finished whether to conduct a daily Saturday session or not. Right? Otherwise, our working sessions will be from Monday to Friday. Right? Saturday, we will decide based on the registration. If many people are there, we will ignore Saturday sessions. Otherwise, we will continue Saturday also. Right? That we will decide after these demos are finished. Okay. Then tomorrow we don't have session. Again, our session will be on Monday. You got all the classroom code now, right? So you can get the notes from there. Everything I will upload there. Okay. Then tomorrow, no session. Again, Monday will continue, right? Thanks. Code, if anyone missed it, then you can get this code. So this is the QR code. For offline people in notice, it is there. You can get it from there. In the notice board, in the seller, you will find the QR code. You can scan from there, right? The classroom related notes and everything I will upload here. Already course content, everything is there. You can go through it. Okay. Right. Then Monday will continue. Right. Thank you. Working.